Good evening. This May 13th meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Burleson Independent School District is now called to order at 5:30 p.m. The meeting was duly posted according to legal requirements and a quorum is present. Thank you all for being here. At this time, we have it set aside for open forum for the community to speak to the board. Ashley, do we have any cards? All right, then we are going to move straight into a very special recognition, and Dr. Hill is going to take care of that for us.
Okay, so for our first part of special recognition, we're going to begin with recognizing our Teachers of the Year, starting with Miss Lori Allen from Clinkscale. And thank you for putting this at 5:30 today. So, Dr. Jimerson and the board, good evening. This is Melanie Aquinanock. Come on. Sorry. I said you have a speaking part. I'm kidding. She is a graduate of Texas A&M. I know some of you are Aggies up here. She started in 2009 at Hughes Middle School teaching science. So her degree is in biology. She loves teaching, so you can just imagine what her classroom is like. Very just hands-on, a lot of fun activities. In fact, they're doing an egg drop tomorrow. She's getting on top of the roof. Oh, I'm like, please be careful. I'm kidding. I know. It's a lot of fun. She won't fall off, I promise. Yeah. But she taught about 6 years at Hughes Middle School. She was a recipient of a Senior Bell. Big award along with this one as well. And then she came to Clinkscale in 2017. She's helped lead the 5th grade lock-in. We do that every year around December-ish. We used to spend the night way too much, so we stay till midnight. You know, she helps out with choir, all kinds of things around the campus. Just very happy with her and very pleased with her. She's just a ball of energy, and you know, she's very humble. Like I said, when she won it, she was like, it's a team effort. But she even talked about the cohesiveness of their team and just making 5th grade fun. So very pleased, Melanie.
Thank
very
you.
happy for you, our Teacher of the Year. Thank you. Are we taking a picture now? Okay.
I know we've taken plenty lately. Let's get another. Shall we?
All right. Right here, 1, 2, 3.
Did you get it?
Lori, would you please introduce our family?
Yes. Y'all want to stand?
Dad, Mom. Makai was a character luncheon that we just had in March. He was our winner for Clinkscale. And then he attended Clinkscale. And then Juliana's at Senior Middle School. So, love the family. They're good kids all around. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now I
All right, Dr. Jimerson, Board of Trustees, good evening. In the summer of 2021, we had the opportunity to interview an applicant from Jackson Christian School who was working on his social studies certification and wanted to teach at BHS. He's a BHS grad. At the time, we did know that we might be hiring a future Teacher of the Year for BHS and Secondary Teacher of the Year for BISD. Mr. Corey Lee is an advanced placement world history teacher and assistant swim coach at BHS. Mr. Lee is a graduate from, like I said, graduate from Burleson High School and Lubbock Christian University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Youth and Family Ministry. As a former youth minister, Mr. Lee relishes the relationships he builds with his students. He's amazing with students, and that's how he gets his job done. He believes strong relationships with students form the foundation for effective learning, as a relationship fosters trust, engagement, and a supportive learning environment. That's a quote from his essay that he submitted. I stole that from him. Mr. Lee is definitely a leader on the campus. He's one of those that, hey, if we need something here, he's there. Matter of fact, I think he's going to start his mid-management, his master's degree in educational administration here pretty soon. So he's a leader on the campus and led the campus initiative identifying potential students for advanced academics that would not necessarily sign up for these classes or programs. He's the lead on that. Mr. Lee has provided some amazing insight in his application essay about apathy and how we're dealing with apathy in regards to students as well as our teachers and how it's affecting education. He is here with his, I don't think, he's not here with his family. He's here by himself. I've got that in here. But so again, I want to present to you the BISD Secondary Teacher of the Year, Mr. Corey Lee.
We got a good surprise out of this staff.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elementary's harder.
Okay, well, thank you. That was a fun thing to do to start off our meeting. So at this time, the Board of Trustees of the Burleson Independent School District will adjourn into closed session at 5:36 p.m. for the purpose of consideration of matters for which closed sessions are authorized by Title V, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, Sections .071 through .084, whereupon the superintendent, at the request of the President of the Board of Trustees, will present for the board's consideration or discussion the following matters. A, consider teacher and/or administrator employment or other appropriate personnel matters. B, deliberate a negotiated contract for a prospective gift or donation. C, deliberate the use of security personnel, devices, and/or audits, including discussion of our intruder detection audit. D, deliberate a matter regarding a student or student discipline. E, deliberation regarding real property. And F, consultation with our attorney. So at 5:36, we will adjourn into closed session this evening. All right. Hello, everybody. The Board of Trustees of the Burleson Independent School District will reconvene to open session at 6:33 p.m. And we have one item to take care of from the closed session. I recommend that the Board of Trustees grant the board president the authority to approve new hires between now and the next regular meeting in June. The board will consider ratifying those hires at the next meeting. If I could please have a motion. Pat, and a second? Second. Jerry, all in favor? Any opposed? I see none opposed. The motion passes. And now if y'all will join me in the pledges.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
All right, board members, at this time, I would like I'm going to start on that. I recommend that the Board of Trustees adopt the order of items for the May 13th, 2024 agenda as presented. Michael, a second? Dallas, all in favor? Any opposed? I see none opposed. The motion passes. And now it's time for special recognitions. Ashley, you want to?
Good evening, everyone. So for special recognitions, we have 4 items for state recognition, beginning with State United Track and Field. And we're going to invite Miss Trinham up for that. Hi, where do you want me to stand? Y'all can just stand and just kind of make a circle for, yeah. Perfect. You can stand right there. That's okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Trinham and this is Jamie Wilson. We were the coaches for the UIL Unified Track Team this season. So if you don't know what that is, it is a track and field team that competes at the same level as any other UIL sport, but it is composed of students with and without intellectual disabilities. It's the first team of its kind in our district as well as our area, so these kids have done something huge. huge. They were given 2 weeks from the start of our team to our first meet, so they rose to the occasion. They placed first at area, fourth at regionals, and fifth at our state meet. This is a huge accomplishment as a first-year team, especially one that was formed in such short notice. We're so proud of each of them, and we're excited to see where it goes for the years to come.
What were the competitions and things that we competed in?
So area was at Salina High School.
What kinds of competitions?
Okay, so we have the 100 meter, 400 meter, the 4x1, shot put, and long jump.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And who all competed? Who ran the races? All right. And who was my shot put? All right.
Yes.
All right.
We have a shot putter over here. Right down
Well, well done. Glad that y'all went and successful, and you had a good time, right? Absolutely. And I'm proud of it. And thank y'all for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. All right, guys. Thank y'all for coming out.
Are you going to turn it over to her, or do I need to? Oh, you can go ahead. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Randy Woolsey.
Can I move this up a little bit? Is that okay? Good evening. So tonight I have the honor and pleasure to have some of our wonderful cosmetology students with us. They competed at Skills USA and they all medaled. If you guys want to get up. And Miss Dunham, the wonderful Miss Paula Dunham, if you don't know her, she's one of our cosmetology instructors at VHS. They've brought with them some of their wonderful exhibits for you to get to see. You can take them up there. Sure, please. This is some of their handiwork. So all of these students, y'all can kind of stand in the middle if you want, like they did. Yeah.
So have you done any of that to people? Real close? Not like that. Very creative.
Three of them up there are licensed.
Okay, so I'm not really sure why Miss Dunham doesn't want to say this herself, but so these students not only went to Skills USA state competition, which if you don't know anything about Skills, it's a giant competition that hosts over 8,000 students each year. All of our students here placed at state, but 3 of them, Miss Dunham is very proud to announce, are fully operator licensed. And so they can walk across this stage on the 25th, and they can gain a job the very next day. So we're very proud of their accomplishments.
That's awesome.
So which 3 are the 3 here? Okay, well, raise your hand so we'll know which ones you are. That is awesome.
13 licensed, but the rest did not.
Okay, 13.
That's a wonderful program. I'm so proud of you ladies. That is awesome. And going over there, like multiple times, it is amazing. All those students doing what they're supposed to be doing. And this lady knows what they're doing, and it's just like walking into a very organized beehive, and they're just making honey like crazy. It's awesome. So proud of you. So proud of you. Awesome.
All right, we're gonna look here. 1, 2, 3.
You get it?
Oh, we all work. Yeah, one more. Sorry. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
She actually, she built us a lot. They had different vegetables. Awesome. Awesome program.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming. I am now going to turn it over to Adam Palmer.
Oh, wow. Hello, everybody. I'm representing the hardest working teacher I know, Janet Jackson over there with CHS. And I'm also going to give some stats for Lindsay Pierce also, all the art stats for VACE, which is our art competition. So in the state of Texas, there was 33,000 art entries for VACE. Out of every 100 entries, 6 of those go to state. And one of our students, who was our Rookie of the Year, Diana Garcia. Diana, you want to come up here? She had both of her pieces go to state. 2's the most you can take. And one of her pieces that went to state also got a 4, which is the highest score you can get. Wow. So she's definitely our Rookie of the Year. We're really happy for her. So just to recap, there's 33,000 entries. Out of every 100, 6 go to state. Our next student has been, every year she's been in school. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. She has been to state. And out of the 8 pieces she entered, 5 of those went to state. So I'm an art teacher, not a math teacher. That is percentages I cannot figure out in my head right now. But on top of that also, out of every 1,000 entries in the state of Texas, 4 of those get a gold seal out of every 1,000. And Tara has got a gold seal before. So she essentially won state, which we're real proud of her. So we have a Rookie of the Year, and then we have
Honored veteran.
Yeah, veteran that we're going to lose this year as a senior, but we're real happy for both of them. Real proud of them.
I believe mine's going to be on the screen, maybe. Allison Friels is the state qualifier for BHS. She cannot be here tonight, bless her heart. She is a strutter. She is a cheerleader. I didn't know you could do both, but she can. She's in a bazillion AP classes. She and her boyfriend were just won prom king and queen over the weekend. She's involved in everything, and bless her heart, she's sick as a dog. She's so sick. Like, yeah, exactly. Her mom was texting me and was like, "I'll make her come." I'm like, "No, it's fine. It's totally fine." So the artwork is not with us because it is at the Mayor Maddie Parker art show up in Fort Worth. So the mayor of Fort Worth hosts an art show every year. It is at the Fort Works Art Gallery. It's a very shishi gallery in Fort Worth. So it is at that gallery currently, and we'll get it back in a couple of weeks. So pretty dang good reason for it to not be here, because one of the top curators from the Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth chose her piece to be in this show out of several hundred that were entered from the kind of greater Fort Worth area. There was probably, I think, about 30 pieces in the show, and Allison's is one of them. And you can see how large it is. It's a big piece. Yeah. And like that photo, for whatever reason, went viral on our Burleson High School page. It's gotten over 40,000 likes and like 500 some odd comments. Like it's bonkers. Yeah. And she really is the most beautiful girl, like inside and out. She has a heart of gold. She's smart. She's sweet. Like she's awesome. She's going to go to University of Arkansas next year and study architecture. So yeah, she's awesome.
We want photos.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. Come on, I'll go.
Why? My girl's not even here.
Because you're part of it.
After you get your picture made, before you go, I need you to turn around and let us look at your work because we don't see it.
Everybody is right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, or you can stay.
Definitely not as good as that.
Poor Bronwyn has to stand by herself. There you go.
I am Coach McMahon. I'm the girls soccer coach at Centennial. I have Bronwyn Adams with me. I had to write down some things because she has a lot of accolades and things and accomplishments, and so she's here for a good reason. Let me start from me. This was I hate saying was. She was our goalkeeper for 4 years, 3 years on varsity. She is amazing inside and out. She is an amazing leader on and off the field. She gets good grades. She was academic all-state, academic all-district. She's gotten second team all-district awards, multiple. Every year she's been on varsity, she's received a soccer award, and then also academic as well. So let me just refer here for a second. This year she had 10 shutouts. In her career, the 3 years at Centennial, she's had 32 shutouts, meaning no goals against. And that is very impressive in 3 years. She has been a district champ multiple times, bi-district champ multiple times, area champion, regional quarterfinalist. And not to mention, is she an amazing goalkeeper, but she's also gone to regionals for discus as well. And so she is going to be a dual sport athlete in college. So she will be track and field and soccer at Hendrix University in Arkansas. And what's really neat about that is she is going to play for my college coach. So I'm just like beaming. It's just the full circle, you know? And so it's really neat. But last thing I'll say about B, it's hard as a goalkeeper on our team because we have a talented team. So she's not always getting the accolades because we are talented and we're lucky enough to be talented. But when this girl she's tested, she stands up and she stands strong every time for us, especially this year as a senior. She just deserves this. I cried when I saw it. Like, I'll probably cry again. It's fine. I do that a lot. But I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. And Bronwyn Adams, everybody. All state. Second team. This year she got second team all state. So that's huge, obviously. Yes.
Yeah, and none of the other team members that are so great get the accolades.
That's why I was so proud. I was a goalkeeper as well, so I was just like, yeah, I cried. I can't lie. I cried. So.
I know what else you did.
One small step this way. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for coming.
You didn't think I was gonna do it, did you?
Bye, thank y'all.
I don't care.
All right. Board members, do any of you have anything you would like to say this evening?
Jerry, you need to tell them what you did today.
Yes, Pat and I are very frequent members to the Burleson Retired Educators Association, and today we gave scholarships to 7 graduating seniors, and it was so fun to have seniors in high school among all of us who used to walk the halls of lots of buildings, elementary, middle, and high school. And so it was so great to have students with us at our meeting. And I want you to know, I was beyond impressed. We have wonderful students, and they make all of us proud. They absolutely were articulate. They have goals. They're grounded, intelligent. And, you know, I just challenge anyone to question our future and whose hands it is in. They were fabulous. And we can be so proud of Burleson ISD. We got it right. And those kids were proof of that. And so were these kids here.
Yes. Yes, it was just so heartwarming to see these kids and them. Jerry asked them to tell about what schools they went to, and most of them all the way through, they're our kids. And it just makes you know why we do what we do, people. You're doing a great job. Great job. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, we have the oath of office for our trustees. I would like to invite Judge Mike up to give the oath of office for trustee place 5, place 6, and place 7. It would be Stacy, Jerry, and Pat.
You know, before I get to the office, the reason these students are the way that they are is leadership. Not just on the board level, but on the local level of schools. The local level wouldn't have that leadership skills and talent if we didn't provide leadership. And in this district, out of 3 districts that I represent as part of this precinct I'm elected to, definitely shines a bright light on our community by the leaders that y'all developed. Because when I was a teenager, I was proposed, what were you going to do 10 years from now? Where will you be? Where will you be 20 years from now? Well, I'm 40-something years down the road from graduation, and nobody thought I'd be a judge. And when they see me now with long hair and a beard, they know I can't be a judge. But I do have the privilege to get to dress like this and get to meet a gentleman called Taylor Sheridan and some of his productions recently. But what you have done in the community is, years ago we had character building, we had all that philosophy. But just because it's not on the wall, the characters in the heart, it's instilled in the motivation and the actions that you take as board members. And it speaks highly this year. Nobody knows against you ladies. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I will tell you, knowing and seeing each one of y'all here on this board, as well as the other board members, it talks highly of your character. So ladies, if you would, raise your right hand. and repeat after me. I state each one of your names. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee of the Burleson Independent School District, Burleson, Johnson County of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Young ladies, congratulations.
Real easy. All right, the next item this evening is a safety, security, and intruder detection audit update with Mr. Steve Logan.
Well, good evening, everyone. Tonight I've got two safety and security updates to share with you all. The first one is on our intruder detection audits. We've had two campuses audited since our last board meeting. Hike and BCHS were both audited and both had no findings and passed. So at this point in the year, we've had all 18 of our campuses audited. All 18 campuses passed, 0 findings through the entire district. So just well done.
Well done. Well done, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Just once again, I want to thank our campus administrators and staff and students for keeping those safety and security protocols as a very top priority and doing everything we can every day to keep our campuses as safe as they can be. So thank you all. Our second update is on our campus mapping project. We've talked about that in a few board meetings. The project is now complete, so I wanted to provide a little bit of a visual to show you guys what we've been working on. We partnered with the CRG, the Critical Response Group, to develop these maps. Each of our campuses they've developed 2 maps for each one. One is from a macro view, and that is going to be really useful in a scenario where we need to do any type of reunification or any type of staging. Any type of traffic control or flow. It's more of a bird's eye, back far away from the campus view, so that you can see the surrounding buildings and roads and all that kind of thing. So, if we're setting up a reunification, we can be communicating very clearly on where things are going to be staged. And then we also have a micro view for each of our campuses. And that is the very detailed interior map. It has got all the room numbers. It's got all of our exterior doors labeled and numbered on the map. It's got our AED stations, our first aid kits, roof access, electrical shutoff, gas shutoff, all those things that we may need access to in the event of emergency. They're all on this map. Now, these are not our campuses. These are just a demo. So,
by the way, these are just examples. These are not ours.
Yeah, these are just a demo map. We're not going to put that sensitive information up there in a public meeting like that. But I did want to provide a visual just so you can see the kind of information that's on these maps. Each one of our campuses was walked in person with CRG, and Scott Shehay walked with them, so that the maps are very detailed and very accurate. So there's a lot of work that went into this, and it's going to be really useful for developing evacuation maps. And we've talked about it prior to this meeting, but these are also shared with our first responders. And so dispatch has the exact same maps that we have, and they have the same information. So when we're communicating in the event, we're all using the same language. And if you'll notice, it's kind of hard to see, but these maps, let me go like this. You can see that it's grid. It's got a grid overlay on top of it. And so if there is an event, this example here, it shows the problem is in the pool, which is located in grid square C10. I wish I could zoom in there, but across the top, it's got the top, there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then each row.
It's MapSco.
Yes, basically. And another feature of the maps is they're all up is always north. So sometimes when you're developing maps, you know, the building may not lay out correctly, and so you turn the map, and then north is maybe to the left or something like that. Well, all these maps, north is always up, just so that there's no confusion there.
Really nice.
Yeah, so that's.
It's smaller if it's horizontal.
It does a little bit, but you can always zoom in. And we've distributed all these maps to all the campuses, and the Critical Response Group actually works directly with dispatch to make sure that they have the exact format and everything they need to plug it into their systems, and they've already done that as well. So these are already in place. We've got plans to use these as bases for some other additional maps that we have throughout the district. So now all of our campuses have very accurate maps. You know, most of our newer campuses had pretty accurate, but some of the older ones may have been drawn back in the 60s on a napkin or something. And so now they're all very, very accurate and to scale and detailed. So
give us a flavor, Steve. When we say plug in the event of a crisis, in the event that people are sense of urgency and people are moving, how is this map accessed by first responders, among others?
Yeah, and that's in their software system, and I can't remember the exact name of their software system, but it allows them to make sure that they're all using this. So if we say there's a situation, at door, and honestly, I can't see that door right there, but door 5, which is in grid C4, so they know exactly where that's at. They know exactly where to go. There's no confusion if they don't know where the door numbers are, or if you say.
Do they have that on their person? How is that map accessed?
It's all electronic.
On the ground, so they have it on their phone?
It's electronic in their squad car and at the dispatch in front of all their screens and everything. So everybody's got the same language. Everybody's got the same maps.
That's what I was just, what is that? I always like to get, what is the visual of that in action to help us, to help first responders to be able to move quickly? And of course, in addition to that type of situation, but in the event we had a gas problem, we had an electrical problem, we had something that, having all of that mapped out right there to be able to get to. Is that correct? Absolutely. It's all in there as well. So in the event of, heaven forbid, we've got a couple in a train derailment, and Lord knows if any fires or anything, and being able to shut things off. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. You need to shut off HVAC, electrical, gas, whatever the case may be. It shows, like I said, the AEDs, the first aid kits, where roof access is to the building, all that details on each one of these campus maps.
And that's for every building we have?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It was. Scott Shehay did a great job of managing this and working with them. And
man, it was so much that he had to go have both his knees replaced. So much walking, isn't that right, Scott? Yeah. And by the way, welcome back. That guy, I don't know who does it. Apparently this guy does, but has both knees replaced at the same time. So welcome back, Scott. Sorry we wore out your knees.
Scott, did I miss anything?
We will also have hard copies at every campus. So a first responder shows up, maybe somebody comes from Dallas that for whatever we're having, and they just need a copy.
We have hard copies at every campus that they can handle. We'll also have these printed on a big poster board so that we can have, if we have a command center, if we have something happen, we can throw it up on the wall and we can all be looking at the same thing and not everybody's looking down at a computer or phone. We have it right here, real time, we can draw on it. But other than that, you covered everything.
He's also already put them in Crisis Go too, so they're everywhere already.
What about our athletic facilities?
Yeah, so yes, they're a part of this as well, including the stadium and the indoor facility. So yes,
Every building. Okay.
Including the actual facility as well.
Yep.
Okay. Good. All right.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, y'all.
And next, we have Miss Anne Marie Shelton with a report on the teacher incentive allotment.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This past fall, I came and gave you guys an update regarding our data collection, our data submission, and then the associated fees to TEA. We have heard back this spring regarding our TIA system, and we have been approved with our phase 1, so that's very exciting. What this means is that we have 163 designated teachers. Of those 163 designated teachers, 159 of them are ours, meaning that we designated them with either a recognized, exemplary, or master designation for their SBEC certification. The biggest thing to the teachers is that they get that additional stipend from TEA, which is either in the amount of $3,000 up to $16,000. Total BISD will be giving out to those designated teachers $1.2 million. And that will be either this month or next month in their paycheck. Yes. And so for the next 5 years, they will have this designation status on their certification as long as they remain in a teaching position, and they will earn those dollars. Any questions?
That's awesome. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yes, you're welcome.
So the stipend that they're receiving, is that annually or is that?
That's annually.
Oh.
5 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really a big deal.
Additional compensation.
And by the way, that is money that was set aside from the state in a separate budget. So it comes to us, but it's more of a pass through. And then, of course, we elected to make sure we put lots and lots of those dollars right back to the teacher, the ones that earned it.
100% of it goes back. A lot of districts are not doing that. They are reserving the 10% or they're splitting those additional fees. But each one of our teachers are getting that 100%.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question is there any indication, I know he just said that it all comes from the state for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funded for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
After those 5 years, is there any conversation about re-upping that funding of those stipends?
What they do every year is they review those stipends. And so in 5 years, we'll have to resubmit our local designation system. They just did their first 5 year with their first cohort, and they are having to get reapproved. So after 5 years, we'll go through the same process of having to get our system reevaluated and reapproved. And then from there, we'll continue for the next 5 years.
So they get it for 5 years, but then they have to earn it again.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then districts re-earning. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to have a side conversation. I mean, I'm not upset about a side conversation. But my point is that every 5 years they have to get the designation, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But every session, every legislative session, they approve the money to send to us for that, or have they approved it already for 5 years?
Moving forward, many things.
Every session is a new budget.
Yes.
Okay, so that's my point.
So it's up for 2 years. We won't know until this session. There's no indication that they're going to rescind this program.
Sure,
and Lord knows they've got enough money to fund it.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that it's clear. Now,
mm-hmm.
I'm so happy we're giving the teachers that money, mm-hmm. and I think that they deserve it, and I think that they should still have it.
Mm-hmm.
But there could come a time, if they do not fund it,
mm-hmm.
that apart from our decision making,
mm-hmm.
that could not be there. There's a chance that could happen.
From the state?
From the state. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because when you said 5 years, I thought you meant that last year they said, we're going to do this for 5 more years. And I didn't think that that seemed accurate. That's not how it is.
No, but I feel pretty confident that it's going to last for at least another 5 to 10 years, the way the TEA team has grown. I mean, they've gone from a small staff to still trying to recruit and grow their own team. So I have a feeling that it's going to
pattern a lot of this, as I recall, of the program that they began in Dallas.
Yes.
And he has championed that here under the direction or under the direction of our governor. So I think this program is what they want.
I think so too. I think other districts are probably going to have to.
It is also what we want.
Yes, it is.
I just want to make sure.
The thing is
we
we like the idea that teachers have an opportunity to earn additional money, and I think we owe it to them. That does not mean that if you don't earn it, that you haven't done some great things.
Correct.
And it doesn't mean that you're not a fantastic teacher, which is the downside.
Correct.
Is, unfortunately, a system like this, you can have some perceived winners and losers when, in fact, we've got some folks that do fabulous things that may not have gotten the designation.
Yep.
That's the downside. The upside is when teachers have an opportunity to put more money in their pocket in their take-home pay, this board said we believe we have an opportunity to provide that, which we do appreciate.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you for all your work too. I know that this is brand new, so I know that was really tough. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And now we have Mr. Dyer to discuss the TASB update 122.
Well, we made it. The last policy review of 23-24. And I think I can say with some degree of fidelity that this is probably the most exciting, riveting, edge of your seat policy review we've ever had.
Dude, you really got to come up with some new jokes, man.
Okay, I can't say that. But I can say that I think this will be mildly interesting. Okay, I can't say that either. This is going to be the most boring 5 minutes of your week. But we'll proceed anyway. CQB. This is a security policy, and all they did was add the word incident after the requirement that we address a security breach. They decided that there are potentially some security incidents that don't rise to the level of a breach, and so they added that word.
Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Trout.
My pleasure. CSA. This, and a lot of these always chase reality. They pass a law. They say that you're supposed to adopt a policy implementing the law. We start following the law when they pass it. TASB gets around to writing a policy 6 months later, and it's already old news. So a lot of that is always this. And this is one of them. They have a new policy on making sure that we inspect our buildings all the time, which you just heard Steve and Scott talk about, that they're way ahead of the curve on this one. But here we got the policy finally catching up with what we already do. This one doesn't have anything to do with us. They wrote in a new nepotism exception for bus drivers. Since some districts are struggling to hire bus drivers, we don't hire bus drivers, so it doesn't have anything to do with us. EHB, this is an exciting one. We're supposed to comply with the rules. So there's that. And this one is even more exciting. This is the policy on accelerated instruction for at-risk students. And wait for it, they moved the entire policy from EHBC to EHBCA.
For acceleration.
FEA. This one's new. We had 2 days of excused absences for juniors and seniors to go visit higher places of learning. They've added workplaces for apprenticeships and things like that. So 2 days to go visit a workplace and see if that's something that our juniors and seniors are interested in.
Kind of reasonable.
FFAC, this is a Courtney thing. We're supposed to train people to make sure that we have folks that can administer opioid antagonists. Courtney already does that. FFB, report concerning behavior. We're supposed to have a procedure for both students and employees to report concerning behavior. We already do. Visited with Ms.
I say, because I get plenty of them.
Yeah. We have two ways for students and employees to report. One's Crime Stoppers, one's a local procedure that we developed. I visited with Ms. Arthur about that. We're already doing that. And then FL, this is a records retention policy. the rule the policy currently says that we're supposed to keep records that committees for students keep. And they changed that because they thought, okay, there's way too many records that various committees use. So now what they want us to keep is the actual plan for students, not just every single document a committee reviews, which I think is a reasonable policy change. I'll give them that one. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay. Board members, you should have received the consent agenda in your packet. If there aren't any questions regarding it, I'd like a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda as presented. Jerry, in a second. Sean, all in favor? Any opposed? I see none opposed. The motion passes. And now we're going to talk about our financials with Miss Brenda. Yes, good evening.
I'm going to try to be a little bit more exciting than Tommy.
Hey,
hard to do.
Just stop trying. Just stop trying.
I give up already. Monthly financials, we are in March, so we're in the third quarter of the year. Hard to believe. So total revenues through 2024, $87.6 million. As you'll see, most of those are our local revenues. We're still receiving funds from the state. And then our expenditures are at $79.9 million, which is about 65% of our total budget. Food service is at $5.3 million in revenues. Just a reminder, we did receive in federal funds a little bit more funding last year because of COVID, so the funding is down this year. And then our expenditures are at 5.2, and that is because of the increase of food costs. So we're still looking at that, and they're working hard at creating meals that are still delicious, but cost effective also. For debt service, revenues are at $36.6 million. And then our expenditures are at 31.2. And we are done with our expenditures through debt service. We may have one more payment that we make to Bank of New York, but other than that, we're at 31.2 for our debt service. Special revenue funds, we're at 57.8%. So this consists of our Title 224 money, which is our special education funding, our grants and everything, we're at 57.8%. Childcare, we're up from last year by about 150,000 to at 632,000 total, excuse me, and then our expenditures are at 573,000. Capital projects, which is our oil and gas, revenues are at 732,000. Our expenditures 6,500. So the beginning balance was 13.6 million. We are now at 14.4 million. Payments over 10,000, the list is in your packet. If you'll see up here, the majority is out of our 199 fund, and then we do have some special revenue funds, and then our claims, which is our workers' comps payments. And then our tax report, March collections are at 783,000. We're at 81.9 million for the year. And then our quarterly investment report, those numbers are so small. If you'll see here, they're split between our pools, Texpool, Lone Star, and Wells Fargo. Throughout the whole year, so through the third quarter, the interest rate's been about right at 5.4, 5.5%. It hasn't really dipped down or up. It's remained the same. So that's been interesting because it's lasted this long. And so that's it for our quarterly investment report. If you have any questions.
All right. Questions? Nope. So now we will have Dr. Seth Hickman to discuss or have us consider the memorandum of understanding with Hill College regarding early college high school for 2024 through 2025.
Yes. So good evening, Dr. Jimerson and board. I am super excited to talk to you about this MOU. This is probably the most excited I've been to talk about this MOU. It's going to be a good one. There are some great changes that are actually coming with this year. I'm going to talk about both our dual credit and our BCHS MOUs with you. You'll actually consider them separately, but I'll talk about them together because the changes apply to both. So the Hill College dual credit MOU is actually a 2-year MOU. It follows the legislative session, so it reflects changes that come through in that. And then our collegiate high school MOU is that every year TEA requires us to look at that and have you revote on that each year. So there's 2 big changes I want to talk with you about, and then I'll discuss our new dual credit offerings for the 24-25 school year. So the two changes for the MOU, the first one is navigators. These are Hill College staff who are going to be on each of our campuses every week to support our students as they are taking dual credit courses, as they are applying to college, filling out the FAFSA, all of those kind of things that our kids, our seniors, juniors, even sophomores are doing as they're getting ready for those courses. And so this is new staff on campus to support that effort. So Hill College is providing that for us this upcoming year. We already have something similar to this through UT Arlington, through our Ghost Center mentors, but this will be additional staff to make sure that our kids get those questions answered, fill out the FAFSA form, which has been a challenge for our kids this year, and make sure that they are ready. Our second one is FAST funding. This is part of House Bill 8. It stands for Financial Aid for Swift Transfer. And so it's a way to financially support our economically disadvantaged students as they take dual credit classes to make those more accessible to them. So this is a great change for those students, but it also actually ends up impacting all of our students. It changes the rates for dual credit classes for all of our kids. So it's actually going to be a huge win for our families. So we'll take a look at this and I'll walk you through what it looks like. So I have kind of the 23-24 current school year versus what it will look like next year. So this year, all of our students are paying $95 per credit hour plus $36 per credit hour for their fees. Next school year, our economically disadvantaged students, which are the FAST eligible, are going to pay nothing for tuition and fees. And all the rest of our students will only pay $55 per credit hour. So currently a 3-hour class runs about $360. Next year, that's going to be $0 for an economically disadvantaged student. It's going to only be $165 for all the rest of the students. So this is going to save a lot of money for our families and for our kids as they are getting college credit while they are with us in high school. Additionally, part of our agreement with Hill is that we'll take care of the books and supplies for our economically disadvantaged students. So it really is dual credit for free for them. So they go do the work, they learn, they do well in the class, and we'll support them to make sure that they can take that journey towards college credit in high school. So we're super excited about this and the benefit it's really going to have for our families. And then our new and renewed courses for 24-25, we are adding art appreciation at BHS and CHS as a fine art dual credit. We didn't have a dual credit for fine art, so we're adding that for next year. We are adding Texas Government, which is already at collegiate high school because it's a required class for their associate's degree. We're adding it at Centennial as well for next year. So students, it's not a requirement for high school graduation, but it is for college in a Texas public school. That way they can go ahead and get that credit. We're adding dual credit economics at BHS and CHS virtually, which is great. We don't have staff in BISD who is able to teach, who are certified to teach that course dual credit. So we're going to have our students take it virtually, but we're going to have one of our teachers in the room to support them in their learning, make sure they're successful, because dual credit economics is a challenging class. We want to make sure they succeed in that. And then finally, at collegiate, we have one student who had jumped on that new nursing program that we have. And so she's going to be taking human growth and development dual credit next year. She's kind of our vanguard of that program. And then we'll have more kids join in the 25-26 school year. So any questions about our two MOUs that we are asking you to take a look at tonight?
I think the cost is incredible, the decrease in the cost.
It's going to make a big difference for a lot of kids.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Then, if I could please have a motion that the Board of Trustees approve the Memorandum of Understanding with Hill College for the 2024-2025 Early College High School Program as presented. Dallas and then Ryan, second. All in favor? Any opposed? I see none opposed. The motion passes. And next, I'd like a motion that the Board of Trustees approve the Dual Credit Partnership Agreement and Memorandum of Understanding for Burleson ISD and Hill College for the 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 school years. Ryan, in a second. Oh, Mike, and then Pat. Okay, all in favor? All right, any opposed? I see none opposed. The motion passes. So that brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening. at 7:25. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.